Can you all see the screen? Can you all see the newspaper?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mm. Okay, fine. So, the promise of doing away with the multiplicity of the taxes at the central and the state level was one of the most appealing aspects of the new tax regime. So, when the GST was introduced, it was expected that the GST will done away with the multiplicity of the taxes. It was argued that the reduction of the number of tax slabs would, by putting an end to the classification of disputes, reduce the discretionary power of the officials and cut down rent seeking, making the tax system simpler and hassle free. Part of the complexity stems from the government's desire to ensure a progressive indirect system rather than ensuring the progressivity of the tax as a whole. So now rulings such as one in the Karnataka may well end up encouraging businesses to push for more clarity on classification, bringing more such issues to the fore and thereby increasing bureaucratic discretion instead of reducing it and opening the door for more rent seeking, not less. At various points over the last few years, there has been a talk of rationalizing the tax structure and moving towards a fewer number of tax slabs, but inadequate progress has been made so far. The GST Council must deliberate on resolving these issues. The tax system should be moving towards fewer exemptions and even fewer tax rates. So that is what is an article. This is a very important article. We have seen there was a question related to the GST tax which was introduced in July 2017. In last year, there was a question that it discussed the success of the GST since it introduced in July 2017. So the question was asked because there were some issues related to the design of the tax, right? So in paper two, there is one topic called various in what you can say various initiatives by the government, and because GST is one such initiative. So what is issues related to the design and implementation of the GST that you need to know, right? In prelims, you are expected to know what is GST, but in mains exam, you are expected to know that what are the issues related to the implementation of the GST in India. You can put it in either paper 3, that is in government tax, or there in government budgeting topic, or you can put it in paper 2 in the what you can say intervention by the government in various sectors and issues related to its design and implementation. Got it? Any doubts about it? So this is very important. Try to understand what is the issues related to the GST in India. Okay, then going to the next topic, next article, editorial page. Here there is wordly wise an article. There is one wordly wise given here that the frequent attempt to conceal mental pain increases the burden. Like people say that what you can say, I'm not having any mental pain. Increases the burden actually. It is easier to say my tooth is aching than to say my heart is broken. So why this? What you can say the this is given because of the what you can say because of the suicide of the uh, Sushant Singh Rajput. Okay, so where is the leader? COVID to China, economy to society. There is a politics of the illusion and divisive silence. Pratap Bhanu Mehta is saying. We have seen that in the beginning there were articles which were saying that it to what you can say to handle the situation we need some visionary leaders. We need some leaders who can what you can say lead the problem. So it is mentioned that from COVID to China, from economy to society, there is a politics of illusion. Illusion means what you can say illusion, Maya, right? Shankaracharya ने बताया था. So there is a politics of illusion and divisive silence. So people, the government, so that is what is mentioned. The Pratapano Mehta is saying that there is no leader in India who can handle such situation. That is what is mentioned here. The pat response to this criticism is often that this prime minister has often been name called and is often what you can say subject to elite snobbery. There is truth in this complaint, but the overuse of this argument to create a self-serving protective shield itself displays the lack of leadership for a prime minister of 6 years standing with a historic mandate with no real opposition To constantly play victims is either a sign of deep insecurity that is incompatible with the leadership, or play act that contemptuously believes that inducing a little dose of the self guilt in his constitutes is a good way to prevent them from asking tough questions. So don't question the handling of the economy. Don't question the strategic brilliance and that has been made India's border secure, right? So we have seen that many times when people are asking questions about the situation of the economy, asking questions about the situation of unemployment, asking situations about the China, Nepal border disputes, international disputes, right? About what you can see all these issues. So many times the argument given from the government side is that in last 70 years Congress has done nothing. So why you are asking now? So the argument is what? What is that argument? तो इट इज लाइक पिछले 70 साल में कांग्रेस ने कुछ नहीं किया है तो अभी 7 साल में ये गवर्नमेंट कैसे करेगा. So according to Pratap Bhanu Mehta, it is an attempt by the government to what we can say trying to protect themselves or shield themselves, and which displays the lack of leadership. That is what is mentioned here. He says that this there is truth to this complaint. People are complaining about it. So the overuse of this argument to create a self-serving protective shield itself displays the lack of leadership for a prime minister of 6 years standing. Now, prime minister has a what you can say experience of 6 years with a historic mandate, like he has been given what you can say more MPs which are required to what you can say pass laws into the parliament with no real opposition. There is no opposition parties because the opposition MPs are very less in the house. So to constantly play a victim is right either a sign of deep insecurity. So always prime minister sees that मैं गरीब हूँ इस वजह से मेरे ऊपर अटैक होता जा रहा है. So this is not what you can say the good sign of or good I can say this is not a good sign of the leadership that is what is mentioned here. So this is the political article. Pratap Bhanu Mehta always write about the politics. So if you are interested, then we can read about it. The next important article is about grassroots economist P. Vaidyanathan's pioneering work on agriculture remains a reference point. So P. Vaidyanathan, who was an economist, he was passed away last week, belonging to the first generation of the post-independent economists who formulated the public policies that address the formidable challenges the young republic faced. Like we saw that when India got independence in 1950, it was a young republic and it was facing many formidable challenges. And some of the economists have tried to give solution to that, including facilitating the economic growth and generating employment, as well as the eradication of hunger, poverty, and other deprivation. So we know that when India got independence, when India was a very young nation, so India was facing all these problems. The problems of what you can say generating employment, then what you can say economic growth, then eradicating hunger, poverty, and other deprivation. He worked with stalwarts such as B.S. Minas, B.M. Dandekar, K.N. Raj, and C. Hanumantarao, and many others to realize the dreams of the independent India. So that is what is mentioned here. So this is about the P. Vaidyanathan, who was the grassroots economist as per the writer Ramesh Chand. So the writer is a member of Niti Aayog. So that is why it is very important. So you need to read how the problems of the India have been solved in the initial days after the independence of India. That is what you can say explained here. So to read and understand how the problems of India have been solved in the initial days of the independence. So with the plannings, with the what you can say various policies, that is what is given here. So to just understand the situation of India in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, you can read this article. Going to the next page, the ideas page. Why South China Sea matters. So it's a very important article written by Vijay Gokhale. Vijay Gokhale was again one of the important diplomat of India. I guess he was also a what you can say ambassador to China once upon a time. Let me see whether he was ambassador to China or not. Whether this information is given here or not. A very important article today because there has been a question asked related to the South China Sea. If you don't know where South China Sea is located, go and just check it out where South China Sea is located. The writer was a foreign correspondent based in Washington for 15. Sorry, he was not an ambassador. He was actually a journalist in the USA. Anyway, so Vijay Gokhale has written an article that why South China Sea matters to India as well as to China. It is not China Sea. Indians have sailed its water for centuries, and Delhi's what you can say, Delhi has stakes in commerce, peace, and security in Indo-Pacific. It must now play a long game. That is what is mentioned here. Questions have been already asked related to the South China Sea. that why what are the India's interest in the South China Sea. That question was already asked here. So here you can see that it is not China Sea. Indians have sailed its water for centuries. It is also an Indian sea. So Delhi's have a lot of stakes in commerce, peace, and Indo-Pacific. It must now play the long game. That is what is mentioned here. You cut this article and put it in paper 2, that is international relations. In international relations, you can put it in what we can say the policies and politics of the developed and developing countries and its impact on India's interest. So here you can see the illustration shows that India's what you can say the boat and China's boat here. We have established we have historical rights established by practice and tradition to traverse South China Sea without impediment. We have mutually contributed to each other's prosperity for 2000 years. We continue to do so. The proposition that the nation that applied these waters in the centuries past for the trade and other peaceful purposes are somehow outsiders who should not be permitted to engage in the legitimate activity in the South China Sea or have a voice without China say should be firmly resisted. So that is what it means. It thousands of centuries, thousands of years, India have been what we can see going through the South China Sea, and that is what is mentioned here. So the writer was India's ambassador to China and foreign secretary. Sorry, actually I was right that Vijay Gokhale was the ambassador to China and the foreign secretary. Actually, KP Nair is a foreign what you can say the correspondent. So this article is very important. Cut this article and put it in what you can say, put it in the general studies paper 2. It will help us in understanding the issues in the Southeast Asia, the issues related to South China Sea. What are the problems in the South China Sea? What are the India's interest in the South China Sea? That you can come to know by reading this what you can say the article. So while discussing the mains paper, I will be discussing in detail regarding the South China Sea and its what issues in the India's issues in the South China Sea. You just read it out. If you do not understand it, I will explain it to you later on. And rather, if you are not able to read this article, at least cut this article and put it in paper 2. We will read this article once we done with the international relations topic in the mains exam. Okay. Now one more article written by C. Rajamohan. C. Rajamohan always writes about the international relations. So here our statement of power. It is not the change in Jammu and Kashmir status, but growing power differential that lies behind the China's assertion in Ladakh. Now why? Because many people believe that why the Jammu and Kashmir is, sorry, why the China is trying to what you can say assert its what you can say position in the Ladakh, because it wants what you can say that India's what you can say the attempt to abolish the Article 370 was the reason why China is trying to what you can say intrude into the Jammu and Kashmir region. So, but as per C. Raja Mohan, it is saying that it is not the change in the Jammu and Kashmir status, but growing power differentials. That India is becoming one of the powerful countries. So that lies behind the China's assertion in Ladakh. That is what is mentioned here. So you read this article, and if you feel if there are any important points, you can put it in India-China relations, especially the border dispute. Much ado over a report. Religious freedom reports have little say in US State Department policies. KP Nair's article recently, the US Congress has what given a report that in India there is no religious freedom. So, what is the significance of such report which is given by US what the congressman, and how it is going to hamper on the India's policy? That is what is mentioned there. So going to the economic page. As COVID cases rise, Sensex falls over 550 points, tracking global peers. So now we are seeing that the cases of the COVID have been rising tremendously in the after the lockdown. So Sensex has been fallen by 550 points. So fall in the Sensex means that it is an expectation that the economic growth will be slower and the companies will not be given what we can say proper what we can say dividends to the investors, and that is why investors are what you can say selling their shares to the people, and that is why the points are reducing. Tata Motors post 9889 crore loss in quarter 4 as industry faces headwinds. So in last 3 months only, the Tata Motors have incurred 9,894 crore rupees loss. So this is the impact of the what you can say the corona pandemic in India, or corona what is epidemic in India. sale registration of BS4 vehicles. Supreme Court pulls of automobile dealers for violations. We are seeing that Supreme Court has already stopped BS4 vehicles, but in spite of that, there were many the automobile dealers who have sold the BS4 vehicles. Not only they have sold, but they have also registered the BS4 vehicles. That is why Supreme Court pulls up automobile dealers for violation of the order given by the Supreme Court. Sure. Then one more important article here, that exports declined 36.47% in May. Trade deficit narrows to $3.50 billion. So our export have declined by 36%, but the trade deficit has been also narrowed down by $3.50 billion. There is one more important, that wholesale prices fall to 4.5 year low. WPI deflation at 3.21 in May. So deflation means what? Deflation means fall in the prices of commodities and services. So it is in negative now. So is deflation good for the economy? Fall in the prices of commodities and services. Is it good for the economy or bad for the economy? We have already discussed about the basics of economy. So what do you think, that the deflation is good for the economy or bad for the economy? Yes, Sonali.
सर हायपर इन्फ्लेशन असेल तर डिफ्लेशन होणं चांगलं आहे.
म्हणजे हायपर इन्फ्लेशन पेक्षा डिफ्लेशन होणं चांगलं आहे.
हां सर.
Okay. Anyone else? Whether the deflation is good for the economy or not? Fall in the prices of goods and commodities is what you can say good for the economy or not? General health of the economy.
So it is, in a sense, it is good for the economy.
Okay, we will discuss about it, whether deflation is good for the economy or bad for the economy, but we'll discuss in the basics of economy, right? Actually,
also because consumer, the ability to purchase also. So deflation to a certain extent is good if there is a lot of inflation.
And to a certain extent it is bad. Bad or good? It should be either completely bad or it should be either completely good. Or it should be like to a certain extent it should be good and to a certain extent it should be bad. Okay, we will discuss about it. Actually, deflation leads to recession, and recession leads to unemployment, and unemployment leads to fall in the demand, and fall in the demand leads to what you can say fall in the economic growth. So deflation is not good for the economy. Why? Because deflation leads to losses. That we can see that Tata Motors have incurred how much loss? Like around 9,000 crore loss it has been incurred by the Tata Motors. So what Tata Motors will do? Obviously, Tata Motors will, what you can say, fire their employees. They will cut down their employees, and when they will cut down employees, their employees will not get the salaries. So if they will not get the salaries, they will not buy any goods and services. There will be no demand in the economy, right? So deflation is always coupled with recession, while inflation is always coupled with growth. So deflation is not good for the larger economy, because deflation always leads to what you can say. Deflation always leads to the recession. Deflation always leads to what you can say the employment cut, and that employment cut also leads to what you can say the decrease in the economic growth of the country. Fine. Anyways, despite high share of MSMEs and cooperative societies and cooperative banks not covered under the credit guarantee scheme, so the loans which is given by the cooperative bank are not covered under the credit guarantee scheme. That is what is mentioned here. So just read this article. What is the flaws of the credit guarantee which was given by the government is mentioned here. Okay, so this is all about the today's newspaper. We'll stop here. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Just 2-3 minutes. Any doubts about the today's or yesterday's newspaper, news articles which you have read?
So inflation can be a problem also?
Yes, very high inflation can be a problem.
Okay.
But inflation within a range, inflation within what you can say that ideal range is good. Like inflation around 4% is good for the economy.
Okay, sir.
We will discuss about it, how the inflation is good for the economy, how very high inflation is bad for the economy, and how very deflation is also bad for the economy. So the inflation should be there, but within certain limits, within certain range. Fine.
Sir, AGR क्या होता है sir?
Annual gross revenues or adjusted gross revenues, right? So
Yes.
I have already discussed this in the class. that कि वोडाफोन और जो दूसरे जो कंपनीज हैं उनका जो टैक्सेस है वो एडजस्टेड ग्रॉस रेवेन्यू पे क्या होता है लगाया जाता है. But last year we have seen that the the government has asked to pay the tax to the telecom companies to pay on the annual gross revenues and not on the adjusted. Because we have seen that Reliance Jio has given a 6 months or the free trial services to the people, right? So within that 6 months, since they have not earned any income, they will not impose any taxes. And since they have not imposed any taxes, the company was in profit. So because of that, what is happening? The other telecom companies are facing the problems. They say that we are not able to pay such high taxes. We will not pay the taxes on the annual gross revenue. We will pay the taxes on adjusted gross revenue, adjusted with the losses. So that is what is the issue there. Got it? So adjusted gross revenue मतलब कि total gross revenue पे टैक्स पे करने की बजाय एडजस्टेड टैक्स रेवेन्यू पे टैक्स पे करना चाहिए, ऐसे कुछ कंपनियों को लग रहा है. बिकॉज एनुअल ग्रॉस रेवेन्यू पे जो टोटल टैक्स लगाया जा रहा है वो काफी ज्यादा है, और अगर वो टैक्स पे करेंगे तो टेलीकॉम कंपनीज विल बी इन लॉस. They will not be in a position to run their companies, and that is why they are requesting to the government that they should be allowed to pay the tax not on the annual gross revenue but on the adjusted gross. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Check. So we'll stop here. Any other doubts? ठीक है, we'll stop here.